Hey guys, welcome back to the Regal Gentleman Studio. Today we've got a bonus save or shave. Now you might recognise James. James was our guest in the last episode of Talking Hair Loss. We've done a haircut on him to try and showcase the fullness of the top. But you're back and we're going to do save or shave. Now, what is making you decide to shave it?
So I'd say there's two different things. The first one is I want to try something new.
Okay.
So the thing with hair is it's always going to grow back.
Yep.
So I just want to test out something new, see what it's like.
Yep.
But I'm still not 100% sure on kind of what length.
Okay.
So that's what I'm looking to get your advice on, really.
Yeah. Okay.
What kind of length? Although I do like the skin fade on the back and side still, quite like that. But for the top, you know, I don't know. I'm not sure what would suit me best. Maybe longer, shorter. I don't know.
Okay.
So just kind of getting your feedback, really.
Okay. Well, if you think about the last video that we did, we done our best to make it look as full as we possibly could on the front, didn't we? That was what we tried to do, which I thought it worked quite well. I think in terms of the density of the top, again, the shorter you go, I think you'll be pleasantly surprised that if we go short, it will look fuller, all right? Because where you've got the hairline still, and it's the density of your hairline, not necessarily the height of your hairline. That's the difference. You haven't like kind of lost the corners, or nothing's kind of gone too high, or you haven't got that U shape. You've still got hair coming through there. So if I was you, I feel like we would save this by shaving it, if that makes sense. But maybe not necessarily like buzzing it like a sort of like a 2 or 3 or 4. What I think we should do is create a shaved head look through our fingers and through scissors. That's what I think we could do. Now, if you look at where the fullness is, so if you lift it up, you can start to see where it goes darker and then lighter, right? So the darkness is probably around there, right? Because if you look here, it gets a lot lighter through there. The density is where my fingers are. Yeah. All that is just kind of see-through. So if you were to cut it to pretty much finger length, which is probably about a number 8, an inch long. If I was to cut that through my fingers and do the technique that I do, where you kind of, we call it profile section and we work horizontally through the top, I can layer that forwards and then we can take your fringe shorter. But by layering it forwards, it still keeps fullness at the front. But I can then create your hairline for you. So I can give you the effect of a shaved head, but by saving the fullness at the top, I think. Yeah. I'm 95% sure. Okay. So 5% now I'm a little bit unsure. Yeah. But I feel like that's where your confidence needs to come in and help me be like, yeah, let's just do it and see.
Yeah, no, I'm completely fine to go with your recommendation. Okay. That's why I'm here, really. Okay, you're the expert, so whatever you think is best. I am indeed. What about back and sides? What do you think? Because normally I go for like a mid skin fade or something like that. What do you think?
Fade's fine, yeah. If you want to still stick to a fade. Yeah. Again, if you're going for something new, you should stick to something from your old haircut because it's something that you're used to. You know what I mean? So it's not going to be a massive shock because you've still got the feeling of a fade, if you get what I mean. So you've got some familiarity going on with the haircut. I would probably suggest we do that. I think you've got that enough thickness in there that I reckon we can make that work. Yeah, sure. I'm happy to go with your recommendation. So yeah, let's do it. All right. Yeah, 100%. You're going to give me that 5% in confidence, yeah? All right, sweet. Let's do it then, mate. Yeah, let's give it a go. Cool. Nervous now. Don't be nervous, mate. Your words were hair grows back. Yeah, I know. All right. I know. So it's one of those things, right? If you don't do it, you'll never know. No, that's and you'll be umming and ahhing about it. And if you just bite the bullet and give it a go, we're not doing like a 1 or a 2 or a 3. There's still going to be like an inch in length. I actually think you'll prefer it. Yeah. I feel like it'll be more low maintenance. I think it will look fuller. And I do firmly believe it will suit you. So my job is to make sure a haircut suits you. Yeah. What do they always say about my job? You're only as good as your last haircut, right? I don't want my last haircuts to not be good. So I'm going to do what I can to make it work, all right? And the beauty of doing it through your fingers, more than just whipping it off with a guard, the guard takes everything off the same length. I can actually manipulate the hair and leave bits longer where I need to, which is probably what I'll be doing. Cool. So I think that's what we're probably better doing. Yeah. Cool. Let's do it. All right, come on, sweet. So let's start with this, okay? So we just thought we'd jump in and say a massive thank you for how well received our save or shave game was. It was pretty good fun doing it. So we thought we'd have to bring one more back in, and James offered to volunteer, which was a good one, I think. So it's nice to have it back, and it's always nice to know what you guys think as well, whether you thought I saved it or whether we should have shaved it. So let us know in the comments, everybody. We do read them. We are grateful for them, and it's always nice to hear your feedback, good or bad. Think of your happy place, okay? Take yourself to your happy place.
You're lucky I can't see the mirror. I haven't got glasses on.
I don't feel any pressure now. It's all good. Right, so thickest part of the hair, cut off. Again, I always find this interesting because if this works, I'm pretty sure it will, it almost feels a bit mad to say cut it short to make it look thicker. Everyone always laughs at me when I say that. They're like, why would you cut it shorter to make it look thicker, you know? But the root is always the thickest point.
Yeah, I guess because when thin hair, when you grow it out long, it always looks more thin.
Very wispy, it goes very wispy, really, yeah, that's it. And obviously, you know, it's like, if you look back on one of our Save or Shave videos we did shave it. And it looked unbelievably thick compared to when he came in, you know?
Yeah, I think I saw that video actually.
Yeah,
it
yeah.
looked good.
It really did look good, and he suited it as well. And I think a lot of the time you just got to kind of like go for it, like we were saying before, and just kind of embrace it and see what happens.
I think for a lot of people it's a big step.
Definitely.
And some people might not be as comfortable with it.
Definitely.
But I think it's just best to test things out really with hair, especially as it does grow back at the end of the day.
Do you know the good thing is though, as well, James? You've got 2 videos to compare your hair to though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You've got 2 afters now, which is cool. You know what I mean? You'll be able to see what you think's better. We may be able to even put them up side by side at the end, and then we'll be able to compare the 2. Was it the right thing to do or not, you know? I think it was. Even just looking at it now, I think it was definitely the right decision.
You have my full confidence anyway.
Thank you, mate. So how long have you been toying with the idea?
To be honest, probably since I got the last haircut really. Because that was quite a big change for me already. Because before I was used to having the fringe quite long anyway.
Yeah, yeah.
So since I'd already had the change, I was thinking, why not just have another change kind of straight after? Because once you have the first change, I feel like that breaks you out of that mindset of when you're having the same haircut for a while.
Yeah, yeah.
So from that point on, I was thinking about it, but to be honest, I was just a bit worried about, you know, what's it going to look like? I feel like if I never try it, I'll always be wondering, what does it look like? 100%. Because in the past, when I've had, you know, certain hairstyles or whatever that I've wanted, and I never tried them, I was just constantly thinking, is it going to look good?
Yeah.
You know, what will it like on me? What would I look like with it? If I never try it, I'll never be able to kind of get it out of my system, I guess you could call it.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think sometimes you do need to, like, if you've got like an overwhelming sort of like feeling towards it, it's a thought that's constant in your mind. There's a reason for that, isn't there? You know what I mean? You might, like you said, you may as well just give it a go, because at the end of the day, you can always grow back your old haircut. And the thing is, because it's all uniform, we're not giving you a side part or something, so it'll grow out nicely. You know what I mean? It's not going to grow out asymmetric, which obviously a lot of like haircuts and short haircuts do. And obviously, when you're trying to keep some sort of coverage somewhere, you always end up with the long bits you had when you came in. They don't grow out well because they're there specifically for one reason and one reason only. And when that haircut grows out, they just don't work. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So it is one of those things that this will grow out uniform and it'll be nice and it'll work. You know.
It'll be interesting to see what everyone in the comments thinks, because there'll be 3 different haircuts for comparison. Obviously, my before, the first haircut, and then the second haircut as well.
That's it, man.
So it'll be really interesting to see.
Right, I'm going to tidy up your hairline.
Sure.
Now by cutting it the way I have, I've left the front slightly layered, a tiny bit longer. And now I'm just taking the underneath off. So it's kind of got a little tiny point at the front. So and what that does, that gives you the fullness and the density towards the hairline. Okay, but by taking the fringe short, it takes away it makes it look like a shaved head. So today it will look like we've shaved it, but we've cut it shorter to save it, right? That's what we've done. Put the shape in, and just go over it now. Scissors to break it up and make it look very natural, as though we've just shaved it. Right, let's dry this off. A million times better.
Head feels very lightweight.
Wait until you see this when the fade's done, mate. You're going to be as convinced as I was. You actually look like you've got teenager's hairline now. Right, so let's work our fade, which we did last time. Okay, I think we can probably go a tiny bit higher on the blending point, but I think that the skin should stay the same. Okay. What is everyone thinking, as James can't see right now? What is everyone thinking? Was that right? Did I make the right call?
It's going to be a big reveal for me at the end. Not for everyone else. Though.
You are going to love this. You are going to love it. If you don't love this, I'll be shocked. Because if you think back to what you came in with, mate, how different and how sparse the hairline looked to now,
yeah,
I think you chose the right thing. So what was it like the reaction you got off being on the channel? Did anyone see it, you know, or?
Yeah, it was really surprising actually. Quite a few people at uni that I hadn't spoke to in a few years really.
Oh yeah.
They messaged me saying, oh, I saw your face pop up on my either Insta feed or YouTube or whatever.
Oh nice,
which was really surprising because I hadn't spoken to these people for, you know, quite a long time. So it just proves the reach of the channel really. And obviously when the reels are on Insta, the videos on YouTube, a lot of people that, you know, that might not be following you, they might still see it anyway.
That's right, yeah, exactly. Good. You see, we're not just saving hairlines, we're also bringing people together, you know? We should maybe do a separate series of that, Liam. A bit like long lost family member, you know? So, shape the temple up nice and low. Just like that. And then I'm just going to bring this in a bit here as well, just to strengthen the temple ever so slightly. So have you told anybody about what you're doing today?
Not really, to be honest. I kind of kept it quite, I don't know if the right word is secret, but just kind of going to surprise everyone, I think, when it's done. Because I have a feeling if I'd told, you know, family members or whatever, they'd probably just say no anyway. So
oh, okay, right, yeah.
Might
trying
as well
to convince you, talk you out of it kind of thing.
Yeah, because I always do want to do it, so I think it's best to just get on with it, really.
Yeah, I agree, mate.
I'm sure it'll be a big shock though for everyone when I just turn up.
I honestly think
new haircut.
100%, mate. But wait until you see this though, like it does look so good. Like it looks like you look like your hairline's totally fine compared to when you came in. But I hope this video is good for everyone watching though, because there are still ways to go short without always shaving the hair, you know? There's ways to, what we've done here with James, is we can still kind of cut it short through the fingers and create like the shaved head look. You know, the main thing about a shaved head look is no fringe. The minute you get rid of a fringe, it looks so much shorter. So if you ever want to try it out, say you're in the same boat as James, say you're sitting there thinking, God, I know how James feels right now. Try, if you've got a good relationship with your barber, speak to him about it or speak to her about it. You know what I mean? Like look at options that way before you end up taking the plunge and going really short. If you've got enough density in the hair and your barber thinks it's a good idea, then show him this video.
I think it's also good to have a conversation with the barber.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people just go to the barber and they just either show a picture or just say, I want this, this and that, and then go for it.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, the barber has a lot of knowledge and experience.
Yeah.
So they're likely going to know what looks best.
Definitely.
And sometimes they'll think of something which you might not even have thought of to begin with.
100%.
So I think it's a really good idea.
Did you think of this?
Not quite this. I just had like a rough idea, but I wasn't really completely sure.
Did you think you could achieve a look like, well, you don't know what it looks like yet, but did you think we'd be able to achieve a look like this by not shaving it though? Because it looks shaved, you see. It does look like you've shaved your head. Except we've managed to keep the length where we need it and the thickness where we need it.
I think I just wasn't really sure, to be honest, and kind of wanted some guidance and help from you, which you've obviously provided, which is great.
Thing is though, you've got to, I think a lot of the time though as well, I think you've got to build that relationship up with your barber. I feel like it's different for me in some ways, because I think if you watch the channel, it's almost like you kind of know what to expect from me now.
Yeah.
So if you come in for a haircut, you're kind of like, well, I've saw Dan do 100 haircuts. You already kind of know what it's like. But if you go to someone new, or you know, you don't really know your barber that well, you don't know necessarily what they're really like. If you get what I mean.
Yeah.
You know, so it's kind of it's a hard combo to have. It really is a hard conversation to have. But if you have got that conversation, if you have got that relationship, you can have them conversations. It's definitely worth the chat, isn't it? You know. And the other word for an open conversation is what? Consultation. That's all it is, isn't it, really? It's just a conversation.
Yeah.
And just an honest conversation. I think that's the thing. You've got to, I know sometimes like people can think that you're being like blunt or rude or anything like that, but it's genuinely not. It's just honesty.
Yeah.
You've got to have an honest conversation sometimes. And it's never easy. Some of the conversations we have to have as barbers, like we have to sometimes tell you the hard truth about hairlines and, you know, things like that. And it's horrible. It's really not a nice thing to do sometimes. But if you're honest and you've got that, you be very transparent about what you can do and what you can't do. You get the best out of it.
I think some people are just worried as well, and they might be worried about, you know, upsetting the other person, or feelings might be hurt if they're slightly more sensitive.
Definitely.
There could be a few things at play, but I think it's better, like you said, to just go in with an open mindset and just listen to what they have to say, really. And I'm sure that both people will get the best result out of it.
I always compare it a little bit to like tattoos, right? You know, obviously we're having a conversation at the start with about tattoos, and it's like if you go into a tattoo artist and you're dead set on one particular thing, the tattoo artist might not think it's a good idea, and then you've got no other example. Whereas if you go in there with an idea, you know, a picture or a design of some sort, and then you let the tattoo artist create that for you to match you and everything else that, you know, they see in you. You get the best ink on your arm, don't you? Or wherever you get it. You know, you do get the best finish. I think it's the same. You've got to have the same kind of thought process as going to a barber or a hairdresser. You've got to kind of go in there with an idea, be open-minded about it, take the advice, and then, you know, go from there, kind of thing.
Yeah, and it really helps if you go into the barber and you don't know what you want, but then you ask them for firstly advice, but also just to kind of talk around the subject as well. You can sometimes learn things which you weren't even asking about. But I'm very thankful for the opportunity.
Oh, no,
thank you guys.
No, don't be silly, mate. Don't be silly. It's pleasure's ours, man. It's always, you know, without you guys, you don't get content. So, you know, it's a two-way street here, mate.
I loved reading the comments in my last video. There were so many of the subscribers that were just commenting really nice things, being really supportive as well. So I think you've got a great community that you've built on the Regal Gentleman YouTube channel.
Yeah, I agree, mate. I agree. I completely agree. I think it's like 99% positive, I think, most of the time.
Yeah. I think that's quite hard online, especially social media, to have a positive fan base. As sad as it is, there's just so much negativity, and I think with what you're doing is most of the time, I mean all of the time, you're helping people by giving them haircuts. So I think that's why there's so much positivity on the channel, which is great to see.
Well, we've tried to build that nice community up, though. Do you know what I mean? Like that's what we've always classed it as a community from the very start, you know.
Yeah.
And that's one of the reasons why we moved to this location here, which is very community driven, and you know, a lot of it is down to it's trying to build that sort of almost online friendship without obviously ever meeting the person, you know what I mean, a lot of the times. But you also don't know who's going to come in the chair. You know, we've had a couple of people who have been like subscribers to the channel come in and like sort of well, in fact we've had probably quite a lot who've been on the show as well, you know what I mean. And it's one of those things. It's like it's nice that you actually meet people who watch the channel. It's really amazing that people like genuinely look forward to watching us on a Sunday and stuff like that. It really is quite amazing. Like I'm always massively amazed by it all. Like, and you can't really take it for granted because it could just end it in a heartbeat like that. You know what I mean? It really could. I think it's a lot easier to sit and watch the video than to do the video. You know what I mean? Because there's definitely things that I sometimes watch and I'm like, you know, in hindsight, you probably would have said no, or you would have done something different. But in the moment, like, you know, it's like there's nothing staged about this. So it's kind of like it's. In the moment, you try to do what you can, and
that's another thing I quite like about the channel is like it's very authentic. It's not, you know, there's not tons of edits. It's not really just all over the place. It's just nice, and it feels like when you're watching, you're kind of actually there.
Yeah, oh, that's
nice. I think it's really nice.
I'm glad to hear it. So just stretching that blend out, working through the lever to get that nice blend.
And with the last video, I genuinely read every single comment. So if you leave a comment on this video, I will 100% read it, even if I don't reply.
Now, did you respond? That's the thing.
No, I didn't reply. There were too many. That's the thing. I'd not be able to work if I responded to every single one.
I'm just blending the 1/2 into the 2, and the trim is really good as well. It's nice and precise. And because the comb is quite small, I always try and match up the clipper head to the size of the comb. So obviously when I'm using my regular clippers, I use that comb. When I'm doing my trimmers, I use this comb, so you can see the head's about the same size. Clipper under comb is definitely not what we want to do. It's the worst feeling in the world when you go under your comb. Let me know if anyone agrees with me on that, any barbers, hairdressers out there, that feeling of that gut-wrenching feeling when you go under your comb. Right, the moment of truth is nearly upon us. I'm just going to do a little bit of fine-tuning, and then I will do the grand reveal for you. I think you're going to love this.
Nervous now.
Don't be nervous. That's called excitement. Right. Drum roll, please.
Big reveal.
Everyone at home can just stamp the feet for me, please. We'll be able to hear it. Right. Here you go.
All right. Here we go. Whoa. It looks nice.
You don't look like you've got
I like that a lot.
going on whatsoever.
That looks really good. I think I see what you mean with keeping it slightly longer. It still looks shaved, but it's still, it's like it's got a bit of length there. Yeah. And I think that's the perfect decision, you know.
100%. Look how low your hairline looks.
Yeah.
You just look like you've got a regular hairline. Yeah. It doesn't look like there's any density loss.
No, that looks really nice. I think you've done a great job with that, Dan.
Thanks, man.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome, mate.
That's great.
And the maintenance of that is that easy. Would you like to put a little bit of product in just to bring out a bit of texture?
Yeah, sure. I'll have a look.
You don't need a lot. Obviously you can just bring it out like that and just bring that texture in. So you have like a crop, a buzz cut, that's basically a little bit of product turns it into a very sharp crop.
Yeah, no, I think it looks really sharp. It looks really nice. Your recommendation was the correct one. 95%,
chances, mate, like 95%, mate. You've always got to be careful with that 5% though. They can come and bite you.
Thank you very much.
You're very welcome,
Thank
mate.
you.
It's definitely the right decision.
Yeah.
What does everyone think? Was that the right decision? Because I definitely think it was.
Yeah, let me know in the comments.
Yeah,
I will read your comment.
Happy, yeah?
Yeah.
Awesome, mate. Thank you, mate.
Cool. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome.